Hey, it's Kathy with Rock Your Retirement. And as promised, today's Friday, and so you'll be getting to listen to Henry Shapiro's Retired Excited. I know you're just going to love this as much as I do. And don't forget, you can still listen to Rock Your Retirement, where I'm the host, and those shows are released on Mondays.
Welcome to the Retired Excited podcast. Retired Excited, the show where we give retired and want to be retired folk a look at how great retired life can be. Here we talk to men and women who are happily retired and loving their life. We explore the techniques, activities, beliefs, and excitement of these happy retirees and examine how every Tom, Dick, and Mary can benefit from their experience. Together, we will delve into what retired happiness really looks like and how anyone can achieve it.
Here is your host, Henry Shapiro.
Hey folks, Henry here, Retired Excited, the show providing inspiration for people who are nearly retired, newly retired, or say they're never going to retire. If you're nearing retirement and fearful of what lies ahead, you don't need to be. If you're already retired and wondering how to fill your days, then this show is exactly for you. Here we talk to retired people doing things that make them happy. Things from stamp collecting to cruising, from dancing to touring the world on a motorbike. There's an exciting stage of life to be enjoyed after full-time work, and it's got nothing to do with your financial situation or social position. We talk to everyday retired people who are living the life they want, and we talk to a few professionals to get expert advice. And I chip in with some of my own experiences. Welcome to episode 7 of Retired Excited. Hope you're all having a great day. It is an absolutely magnificent day here. And when I say magnificent, there's clear blue skies with just a little touch of white fluffy clouds in the sky. And it is 34 degrees, and that's in centigrade, so it's about 91 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you in the US or other places. I've got a fabulous guest for you today. He's an interesting man. He is a crusty old Scotsman, and his name is George Young. As we're going along, just see if you can work out how old he is and how long he has been in the club. When I say club, what we're going to hear about today is the Berwick Woodworkers Club. George is on the committee there. I don't know quite how long he's been on the committee, but I've spoken to a couple of the other members there, and they all have enormous respect for him. Doesn't smile a lot. Even when he's telling me a joke, he doesn't smile, but I reckon he's smiling on the inside. The club is in a couple of buildings in what is known as the Old Cheese Factory complex. The complex is on the site of a historic building. That's hard to say. It's on the site of a historic building. It's a 2-storey mansion kind of a building, and there's various other buildings around it on a large plot of land. And this plot of land is in the middle of a suburban area. I thought that the land belonged to the council, but he soon sets me straight on that. Anyhow, there's a management committee there, and they run various events. So in the main mansion, you can have weddings, there's a chapel there, there's a pottery club there, and the Woodworkers Club is in a couple of buildings. One of the buildings has a dining area and meeting area, and some of the more complex machines, lathes and bandsaws and the like. And the other one is more for hand tools and the storage of bits of timber and so forth, and doing some painting work on what it is that they produce. Now, I want you to do something for me. I want you to listen to this interview very carefully. What I'm really asking you to do is to listen between the lines, if you can say such a thing about an audio. You might need an interpreter because George is not all that easy to understand sometimes, and so between his Scottish accent and my Australian accent, some folks are going to have a problem, but it's pretty good. As I said, listen between the lines. I want you to pick up, apart from folks coming down and doing woodworking and making what they want or helping other people, I want you to try and pick up 3 things which are important to George, and in my view anyhow, the most important things to do with the club. let's have a little discussion about what these three things may be after the interview. So here we go. Okay, we're here today at the Berwick Woodworkers Club, and I've got with me George Young, who's on the committee of the club. How are you, George?
I'm very well, thanks.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, I'm from Scotland, of course, from the southeast of Scotland, midway between Edinburgh and Berwick-upon-Tweed. And I was educated in Scotland, worked in England, and came out here after I retired.
Okay. So it was after you retired. Tell me about what happened when you retired. Did you work up until the maximum age, or how did that work?
Yes, I had to retire at 62, and for economic reasons, we delayed our departure for Australia until I was 65, so that I had a retirement pension to bring with me.
Okay, and is that a British pension or a Scottish pension?
The British retirement pension
system, yeah. And was that an easy move to retire, or how did you feel about it at the time?
No, there was no problem. No, I had worked all my working life for the government, and I was heartily sick of the British government, especially when the Iron Lady came into power.
Right. She
was just a thorn in our flesh, as a trade unionist, that is, you know.
Yes, yeah.
She was out to kill the trade unions at the expense of the British economy.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of her obsession, her, I would say probably her upbringing.
Yeah, yeah. She was a very strong leader, though, at the time. Whether you,
I'm not gainsaying that, but it was at everybody else's expense.
Yeah. What did you think about the unions in Australia? Did you?
I never really got involved with any sort of background information on the unions at all.
Yeah.
I heard all about the trouble in the docks and one thing or another, but.
So what year was this? What year did you come out?
95.
Oh, okay.
20 years ago, 21 years come January.
So your transition from working to being retired, that was fairly smooth for you?
Oh, that was no problem.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
And I knew 40 years in advance when I would be retiring.
Yeah.
And it couldn't come quick enough.
What about financially? Was it going to be a drama financially?
Oh, no. Coming out here was probably not a drama, but it had to be a consideration. That's why I waited until I was on the retirement pension, you see.
Yeah.
Retired at 62, but the pension wasn't payable until 65.
Yes, yeah.
So in order to have a fairly decent income to come out with, I had to wait until I got the retirement pension.
Yeah. Now, here we are at the Woodworkers Club. And obviously you weren't working as a carpenter or a cabinet maker there.
No.
What was your interest in woodworking?
Well, I'd always had an interest, but the interest was stimulated when I went south into England, and I was obliged to purchase property.
Okay.
And it therefore became a necessity to do odd jobs for my own benefit, without too much dependence on tradesmen.
Okay.
So I started taking an interest in woodworking classes.
Yeah. And did you go to classes?
Yeah, I went to classes, yeah.
Yeah. And so then when you were here, how did you find this woodworking club, the Berwick Club?
Oh, it wasn't a problem, because the club goes to all the shows round about, and one of the first events I attended when we arrived here was the Berwick show.
Yes.
And I met a gentleman there who was working on a scroll saw, and we got chatting, and he invited me along to the club.
Okay.
So that was in February.
Yeah.
We arrived in January. That was the end of February.
Okay, so that was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting because my contact with the club was at the farmers market. You have a stand at the farmers market.
Oh yeah.
And I got talking to the folks there, and they said, "Oh, come up and have a look and see what's going on." No, that's.
Yeah. Well, we've only recently started the farmers market, so about a couple of years back.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a long-standing arrangement.
Right. So, tell me about how's the club organised? Who comes to the club? What's the administration of the club? Because just breaking in, you're here in council premises. Council own these buildings, and they're beautiful buildings.
No.
They're perfect.
It's Crown property. It's owned by the Crown, and it belongs technically to the Victorian government.
Okay. Oh, okay. Not the council. Mm-hmm.
No, not the council. So we have a lease with the Victorian government.
Mm-hmm.
The council, the City of Casey, they administer it on behalf of the Victorian government.
Okay.
And although we built the property, if you build on Crown property, anything you build automatically reverts to the Crown. So although we built it, we don't own it. We have a lease. And the City of Casey, they maintain the property, all the properties on the site.
Yeah. So tell us about the members. Typically, who are the members? What sort of people?
We're an incorporated club.
Mm-hmm.
So we're legally on the right side of the Department of Justice.
Right.
We're registered with them, and
I'm just going to stop for a second and take your arm out from under there. There you go. Put your arm on top of it. Yeah, that's
we're registered with them, and we have to make our annual return to the Department of Justice, and get clearance on our constitution and all the rest of it. You know?
Right. Yeah. And the members?
So the members are from all over. As I was telling you earlier, we only have three carpenters in the club, and at one time we had I don't know whether he's still in the club or not, but we had a cabinet maker. Right. But these were about the only blocks who were concerned with timber work. Mm. The rest are just a mixed bunch. A lot of them in the early days, a lot of them used to work with GM. You know,
General Motors down in Dandenong, yes.
Yeah. In fact, the fellow that introduced me to the club, he was with General Motors, and
so most of them retired.
No, not all. No. We our age group is from age 13 onwards.
Right. Okay.
And the reason for the age 13 is that it's the early stage at which the insurers will insure.
Okay.
So that's the guiding principle.
Yeah.
So in the past we've had teenagers in the club.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've still got two teenagers in the club. Yeah. One's 15, I think. The other one's 18.
Mm-hmm. But typically, how old would they be?
I would say the average age of the club is probably about 60. 60.
Yeah.
But we've got a group of women who come in on a Wednesday evening. They're 2 or 3 of them are school teachers, I think.
Okay.
So they're in their, probably generous and say they're in their late 40s.
Now, you were telling me about women before. What was that story? Women coming in?
No, I was saying about women wanting to introduce their husbands to the club.
Yeah.
More, when we're out at a farmer's market or such like, it's women more than men who come along and say, can we have an application form?
Right.
So, because I want my husband to join. That's the usual principle.
They're trying to get them out of the house.
Our members come from all over.
Yeah.
They're fairly scattered. We have some from Bunyip Way, and we've got some from Pearsdale Way, and some from Seaford. Not Seaford, Chelsea. Chelsea. Remember
just
Chelsea?
For the sake of the people listening who won't know where this is, how far away are those things? those places?
Oh, Bunyip, I'm not quite sure actually. Probably about 25k.
Yeah.
Bunyip.
Okay.
Aye. And Pearsdale will be about 30k.
Yeah.
Chelsea's probably about 30k, going in different directions. We have members in the past, we don't have any at present, but we've had members in the past from Dufton and Endeavour Hills.
Right.
I think we still have someone from Endeavour Hills, yeah. Most are from Narry Warren, Narry South, Berwick, Beaconsfield,
Yep.
and Upper Beaky.
So if I talk to you about the club itself, what's the best thing? What is the thing that you like best about the club?
Well, it's a very mixed club. It's a fair range of experience, different experiences, different jobs, different attributes that the members have. And we help each other, of course. That's the best thing. The best thing is you can go to anybody if you know what their experience is and what their skills are. You can go and tap their knowledge.
Okay.
And it's always freely given. There's never any problems with helping each other.
That must be terrific for the teenagers that you've got. They can.
Oh yeah, well. When I joined, there was a teenager in the club who ultimately became the apprentice of the year in Victoria, in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
fantastic.
So it's never a problem. The thing about the teenagers is that they're monitored by their sponsor, and we never allow them to join unless they have a parent or a sponsor to tutor them. You know?
Okay.
So keep an eye on them, keep them under control.
Yes. Yes. And that's what you like about the club. But what do you think is the best thing the club has done? It does various things. What's the best thing it's done?
Well, we get involved in anything and everything in the locality. Mm-hmm. We're involved with the different shows: the Pakenham show, the Dufton show, the Berwick show. We used to go to the Dandenong show at one point until they started being greedy for money and wanting us to pay for the privilege.
I see a whole lot of toys here. What's that about?
Yeah, well, we'll have a group who do toy making,
mm-hmm.
and that's probably become the biggest sort of interaction within the club.
Mm-hmm.
Is the toy making.
Yeah.
And these toys are donated every Christmas to the different charities.
All right.
We take no interest whatsoever in distributing them. The charities do the distribution.
Yeah.
So it's not a personal thing. We don't say that toy's for that family or that toy's for the next family.
Mm-hmm.
We wash our hands off the toys once we present them to the charities.
Yeah. And just for the listeners, when I'm looking around, I can see a little wooden aeroplane and a dolly's cot and a wooden tractor.
We cover a multitude of sins. They range from cricket sets, we do cricket bats and wickets for the boys, and wheelbarrows, little rocking horses, such as the one over in the corner there.
Uh-huh. Beautiful.
And everything in between, as you say, cots and high chairs for the girls and bunk beds for the girls, ironing boards, irons.
You say that has become sort of one of your major activities.
It has.
Why do you think that is?
Well, lots of the joining members, they get to hear about this initially and they want to participate.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether they have much skill or not, or much experience. They can at least dress up timber or drill a hole for a screw or what have you, you know, and help out with the toy making, or put on paint.
Yeah. It's a crossover between a philanthropic exercise, like a donation, plus they're taking their own time and putting their own effort into it. So it's a very good thing to do, isn't it?
Yes, there's no pressure on the members.
No.
They don't have to join in. They're not obliged to. And I keep emphasising this, that when they come, I keep saying, you're not obliged to work on the toys. You can do what you like, do your own thing. And that's one of the big advantages of the club, is that any two members can come in at any time,
right,
and work on the machines, and they can do what they like.
So typically, if they're not doing toys, what sort of thing do they do?
Oh, they might do anything. Recently, I've been repairing chairs for a woman. Oh, we get caught up with repair jobs all the time.
Okay.
One of the other members was repairing an honours board for a badminton club, I think it was. Badminton club.
Yeah.
We get caught up with these things. We've done repair jobs for kindergartens. Well, probably not kinders.
Playgroups and
playgroups in the past.
Have you had any disasters? Is there anything happened in the club that's been a real drama?
No, we've never really had any problems. We've only once had somebody who called on the insurance. We had a doctor who was in the club and who agitated on and on and on about the first aid box not being up to date and requiring some attention. So we did attend to it under his guidance. And the funny thing is that he was the only person that ever had an accident. Well, up to that point anyway.
The reason I ask is when I was at school, we used to do woodwork when I was, and the teacher held a piece of timber like that and ran it through the planer and took the tips of his fingers off. In class with the students all around, and you can imagine that was.
Oh well, we've had I've taken the tips off these fingers there, but not sufficient to do much damage.
No.
And not so long back, I knocked the tip off that. I didn't take it off, I knocked it off. Right down to the nail bed, but that was on a lathe, and it was there was really carelessness on my part. Yeah. But we don't have any serious accidents.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Occasionally, somebody maybe cuts themselves with the bandsaw, but
I think
it's always carelessness.
Yeah.
It's never the fault of the machines.
So if you look ahead now for the next 5-10 years, what do you look forward to on behalf of the club?
Well, the council who are administering the property actually want us off the site.
Oh, right.
I think I mentioned it to you before. But in order to get us off this site and out of these premises, they've got to provide alternative premises. So they've got a master plan, and we'll be down the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
Beyond the line of trees, beyond the line of elms.
Okay.
We'll be down there. They've got all sorts of different plans for reorganising the site. You know, the farmers' market was probably the initial stages.
Okay.
The farmers' market used to be up the avenue.
Yes.
In amongst the trees here.
Yes. Yeah.
But for some reason or other, and I think it had to do with the arborists in the council, because they've always been very protective of the trees there. So,
yes.
So the farmers' market area, which you've obviously seen, it's all been laid out, landscaped, and power installed, and all the rest of it. So we'll be down closer to that setup down there.
Are you looking forward to that, or is that not something?
Well, it was to be this coming year, but it'll probably be nearer 2018 before we get there.
Now you're on the committee of the
Yeah,
club.
right.
What are you looking forward to personally? If you looked a few years ahead?
Oh, well, I'll probably back off the committee. I'll probably resign at the end of the next financial year,
Yeah.
and let some of the younger ones take over. We've had quite a few younger ones come on the committee in the last year or so, but
It sounds as though the club's pretty strong.
well, yeah, so there's 100 members, and there's always a very active interchange of information in the club. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I say, we get involved in all sorts of things. We get involved with the schools, with the Kits for Kids, and we get involved with the shows, as I said, and we get involved with doing odd jobs for different people, such as we've helped out the physio departments and some of the local physio setups. And in fact, we had one there recently. Did you see the spirals that we had, the Archimedes screws that were manufactured?
No, I didn't.
Well, they're stacked over the way there. I thought you had seen them, but we did these for a blind group who wanted them specifically to help blind people feel the motion of the screw.
Okay.
The Archimedes screw was a system that was used for irrigation.
Yes.
And it's still used in the granaries.
Okay. Yes.
For lifting grain up from the ground floor onto the top floors. Yeah.
Yeah. As I said to you early on, the purpose of the podcast is for people who are coming up towards retirement, or perhaps they've just retired in their home and not really knowing what to do with themselves.
No.
What would you recommend to them?
Well, by all means, join the club. You know, we'll have a good rapport here. All the members get on very well. We never have any problems.
Mm-hmm.
At least we don't nowadays. We have in the past, but we don't have it nowadays.
Yeah.
If there is a problem, it's always, funnily enough, it's always an ethnic problem.
Really? Okay.
And it's usually to do with the fact that there was such a mix of Europeans in the club.
Yeah. They have different expectations.
Oh, different ways of doing things.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
At the present moment, there's quite a number of. Let me think how many there'll be. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Scots, I think, and 1 or 2 Irish. Quite a few of the English breed. And very few Aussies. Very few Aussies.
Okay, that's interesting.
The Dutch used to be predominant. We don't have many Dutch now. We've got about 3, I think. Mm-hmm. But they used to be predominant when I joined.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that there are not that many Australians?
Well, probably because they've been born and bred here, and they follow different pursuits, probably. Whereas the Europeans coming in, they'll be wanting to associate with other craftsmen, I think, probably to learn.
Mm-hmm. Are there any women who are actually members of the club?
Yeah, we have about 10.
Yeah.
And I say some come on a Wednesday evening.
Right.
We have 1 or 2 husband and wife memberships.
Mm-hmm.
3, in fact. 3 at present.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3 women to start with.
Yeah. If someone's interested in, maybe they're 60 and they're coming up towards, retirement, they can see retirement ahead of them, how would you recommend they get involved in woodwork? Are there books or courses that they should be looking at?
Well, they could, but it's very difficult to find a woodworking course locally. And you have to go to a TAFE or trying to remember the name of the college down the way there. Mm-hmm. But some of them get the idea that they can just French polish by looking at a jar of polish, and French polishing courses are difficult to come by as well.
Yes,
When they come in, they've always got great ideas as to what they're going to do. You know, they've got a project in mind, but it's usually something that's a way above their capabilities, and probably way above the capabilities of some of the members as well.
Yeah.
But we try to bring them down to earth and get them channeled into something nice and simple to start with, you know.
Yeah. So if someone wants to join this club, how do they get in touch? What's the method for people to get in contact with you or with some of the other members?
Generally at one of the shows they can come in here.
Yeah.
They can walk in the door and make contact, see what's going on, and or catch up with us at the shows, or when we go out fundraising, which we do once a year. We go. We have a fundraising exercise, which is a raffle.
Yes.
And we go around the shopping centres, so they contact us then.
Okay.
When we're in the shopping centres. Yeah.
So it's easy enough to find you. People, if they're interested in woodwork, they can find you.
This site's open. It's open for parents bringing kids to play around, and there's a cafe there. People come up for lunch and one thing or another, and they just come in here. That was one of the considerations, or rather one of the conditions under which we got the permission to come on site in the first place, was that we would be open to the public.
Right. So
people can come in, have a look around, under escort.
Yes.
And,
well, there's machines here. It's not. Yeah.
That's right. So we have a fair rapport with the public. There's a fair interchange of information with the public, and the people who come in often offer us stuff such as machinery and timber and things like that. So
yeah, terrific.
So we do quite well.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for all the information and for the help that you've given us. I'll put the contact for this on our website, and people can contact you at the shows around Berwick and so on.
Yes, by all means.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, did you enjoy that? So what you just heard was George describing the club and some of its members and the activities they get involved in. And as he was saying, they can do anything they like really, but he seems to get involved in little maintenance jobs for people in the local community, and of course lots of members are making the toys which they then give away at Christmas. They teach youngsters and folks all sorts really, but the mainstay of the club are the older members, and I guess the reason for that is that the club is open all through the week, and so it's really the retired members who can get down there during the day. So did you pick up how old he was? And how long he'd been in the club? I'll leave that one with you. What do you think the three important things that came out of that were? Well, at least in my mind anyhow, I can tell you what I thought, and perhaps you can comment later on. I think that for the long-time members at least, what they're making is really quite irrelevant. What's important to them is that it's a safe community that they can relate to, and it's a friendly community, so they can go down there, know they're going to find some friends or take a couple of friends with them to do some work, and they know that the atmosphere down there is going to be friendly, they're going to help each other, and that's the second point really, that they're helping each other, they're supporting each other. And I guess when you get later in life, you know, these things become more important to you, to have a supportive community around you. Maybe your children are no longer around, maybe they've moved away, as mine have. My children are, well, one's 3 hours away and the other one's many, many thousands of kilometres or many thousands of miles away. So to be part of a caring and helpful community is a great thing, and that's one aspect of help. The other aspect of help is that they can help the young folks or the folks who come down and are just starting on their woodwork hobby and impart their knowledge. They feel as though they're giving something back to the community by being able to use their experience and pass that on to other people. And of course the third thing is the toy program. And here they make something approaching 1,000 toys per year, and then give those toys away to a number of charity organisations for the distribution. As he said, they don't get involved in the distribution, so being able to make things which help other people is, as I said, sort of that's not easy to say, is it? A philanthropic exercise. They are doing something they love, being involved in a supportive and safe community, the club itself, and being able to help other people at the same time. And I think in an earlier episode I talked about what it is that makes people happy. And it's, in my view anyhow, it's a sense of having a purpose. Particularly as you get older, having a sense of purpose is really important in your life. You've done all those things or hopefully you've done those things like providing for your family and maybe purchasing a home or being in a settled situation anyhow. So now you're in a situation where you just want to know that you're valued, that you have friends, that you've got something to look forward to every day, but that you've got a purpose and a connection. In this case, it's a connection to community. If you've got a pet, you'll know, in particularly a dog, not so fond of cats, particularly if you've got a dog, you know what I mean by having a connection to another living thing. And that's really, really important. So that's my thoughts on it, and I'd be really very, very interested to hear what your thoughts on this may be. For those of you who have had a bit of an inkling that you'd like to learn about woodwork, where do you find out about this sort of stuff? Well, what I did was I just Googled it. I Googled Woodworking Club, and in fact I Googled Woodworking Club Melbourne, and I came up with 3 or 4 clubs around the suburbs of Melbourne, and I'm sure they'd all be similar. You could just go down. And in the particular city where you are, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in America, wherever you are, I'm sure there'd be woodworking clubs that you go down and talk to the people. There's a small joining fee and a small annual fee, but the larger scope of life, those fees are not very much money. So here's what I'd like you to do. At the bottom of the page on the net, and that will be in retiredexcited.com/007. So you can go to that page and go down to the bottom. You'll find a place where you can put your remarks. And I'd like you to tell me what you think. Tell me, what did you pick up in that interview? What do you think is important in life as you're getting a bit older? The things that we've been talking about will of course be on that page, and they'll be outlined in the show notes that are written there. The other thing I'd like you to do is email me. You can email me at henry@retiredexcited.com. And if you have any issues that you would like me to talk about on this podcast, if there's things that have been disturbing you, if there's some topics you'd like me to cover, just send me a quick email. I will reply to you and we'll get on to those. So that's the end of it for today. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next time.
I like that. I'm going to give that a go for sure.
Ian, that was terrific.
That was interesting. What a good idea.